Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to the 18th edition of the Chlorophyll podcast. We started in 2024 to celebrate our 25th anniversary, and as they say, by popular demand, we continue to host very, very interesting people. Today, we have a youngster who has Abhishek Bansal, who has made winning awards a habit. So first he won it in IIT, then he won the 30 under 30 award, then he earned the 40 under 40 award, and in 2015 started an extremely disruptive organization called Shadowfax. Welcome, Abhishek. Glad to have you here. Let me begin by first congratulating you on the awesome IPO success. Any quick words on that?
No, thank you. I'm glad to be here and glad to partner with you in our journey over the last few years. We have seen this ride quite closely, so appreciate you being here with us in this journey. And I said, glad to be here and talking today.
Correct, correct. So, Abhishek, first, this word disruption, when I first met you, that is what came to my mind. And one of the things we discussed was that disruption is not necessarily new technology, but certainly a new business model. You want to tell us about how you thought about Shadowfax?
Yeah, I mean, Shadowfax, we started in 2015. I had returned back from China after looking at some of
Right.
the new age models over there. What we saw in India back in 2015 was that customers wanted products to be delivered faster, and we had seen this entire thing in China where there was this ambit around quick commerce, food delivery. We could just order in, and things getting delivered in a jiffy to our doorstep. In India, some of that thing was not even started to happen. It was still very, very young. So we came up with this very interesting idea that how do you ensure that you enable all marketplaces, all small sellers through a completely on-demand network, and we called it last mile capacity over a cloud. Okay, where you just integrate like how you integrate with payment systems, and you will get last mile capacity. On one side, we had this demand where we would deliver instantly. On the other side, we came up, or rather not, we didn't come up with this model, but we came up with this entire crowdsourcing thing where we saw some of the models in cab hailing, in hoteling, where essentially you can just crowdsource rather than building your own assets. So we
Beautiful.
realized it's a big opportunity. Logistics, nobody is doing it. So on one side, you have demand. On the other side, you have supply. You create an asset light sort of a model, and start delivering things at a really really fast pace. We all know what quick commerce is today, how disruptive it has become.
Yes.
But back in the day, nobody understood quick commerce. We were probably the first players to enable small sellers deliver really really fast. And having seen this cycle over the last decade, uh, I think we have seen it all in terms of different kind of models emerging in this country, different innovations happening in this sector, and how things have evolved in our country from a customer speed orientation standpoint.
Yes, yes, yes. Before I go ahead, viewers, please type in your questions in the comments box. We will take them at the end of the session. Uh, Abhishek, before we talk more about the business, you have an incredibly interesting brand name. Where did that come from? Tell us all.
Yeah. No, I think back in 2015, again, as we were starting, we were pretty young and we were generally, I would say, more passionate about names and doing things in a certain theme than what we are probably even today. But we had this unique concept around. I don't know how many of you know what Shadowfax is, but Shadowfax is taken from this movie Lord of the Rings, where there's a protagonist Gandalf. Gandalf's horse has a name called Shadowfax. Okay,
Wow.
so it's a long story behind it, but it in the mythical
World.
universe over there, it's considered to be the fastest horse, which can understand human language, which can understand AI, and it is the most reliable horse out there in that mythology. So we love that name, the concept, and we thought we are becoming a B2B business. in a B2B business, we can keep a lengthy name as well, and hence we ended up keeping Shadowfax. I think one of the very interesting things around this name, which very few people know, is actually back in the day we were deeply inspired by Peter Thiel and the books he was writing. And Peter Thiel, if you know, keeps all his company's names based on LOTR mythology. So we were
Correct.
deeply inspired by him, and we thought he's a great mentor, and we love LOTR. So why not just get everything together in this?
Fabulous, fabulous. And in fact, the first, when we first met in Mumbai, uh, you said two very memorable things for me. You said that I want to engineer for customer experience and I want to engineer for speed. How has this uh, been deployed? How has this found expression in Shadowfax as it is today?
See, at Shadowfax, we have a fundamental belief that Indian customers can never be happy or satisfied. Okay, if you deliver on the same day, people will want in the same hour. If you start delivering in the same hour, people will want delivery in minutes. Uh, Eventually, people might want, or we are looking at an ecosystem probably where AI is going to tell people what they should order or what they should wear, what they should eat. AI robot or bot will decide what my diet should be, what looks good on me. So Indian
Absolutely.
customers, there is no upper end to the expectation that you have. If you order as an end consumer, you want reverse logistics, you want infinite flexibility even after ordering or post sale service. Even if you are shopping for 50 rupees or 500 rupees or 5,000 rupees, every customer when they go online, they want to feel like they are the king or the queens of the world, and that democratic access is something which makes life very interesting for companies like us who have to constantly innovate. We have to constantly anticipate what the next level of demand is going to be,
Beautiful.
how the demand is going to shape up, and that requires a lot of innovation. If you think about it, the entire Indian ecosystem, how digital penetration has happened over the last decade, it has purely been on the bed of innovation. You cannot
Right.
have one single model do wonders in this country. Every 3 years, a new model pops out. If you look at a track record in the country, over the last 10, 12 years, there have been three broad innovations that have enabled digital penetration. First one
Okay.
is what we call as the original e-commerce model where you ship it from a warehouse.
Right.
Then we saw this entire omni-channel model popularized by food delivery, where you will essentially pick it up from a restaurant, from a small seller, deliver it to the end consumer. Then
Right.
came this entire model of what we call as social commerce, value commerce, where any seller in the country can do pan India shipping through different models. Then
Right.
3 years back, this entire ambit of quick commerce where you'll set up a dark store very close to the customer. Every 3 4 years, the paradigm completely changes. Every paradigm change brings newer level of digital penetration into our ecosystem.
Right.
As a logistics company, as a fulfillment company, our job is to ensure that every time the paradigm shifts, we are ahead of the curve. Our thought process is very simple. If Indian customers like you and me are going to sit at home and order online, which is going to happen, we need to be the first ones to create that solution. We do not care which model historically has worked. We believe that whatever is going to happen in the future, we'll be the first ones to fulfill that sort of a model. So I think this entire drive is driven through innovation of creating the next service which can bring in digital penetration in our country.
Hmm. Hmm. And the one of the other thing that stuck in my head when we talked the first time was you said, and this relates to your innovation of reverse logistics. What you said was, Kiran, um, not too many men return things, it is only women who return things. Is there a reason why? Is it because they're at home, or it's just an insight you have about how women buy and uh,
Yeah.
ask it to be changed?
No, I think it's not just insight. I think it's data. It's empirical data that we have seen over the years. And given we are the market leaders in doing some of these innovative services like reverse logistics, where today every brand in the country depends on Shadowfax for doing their reverse logistics, something we have a lot of data after doing millions and millions of delivery in this country around reverse logistics. See what happens, and it's interesting. Typically, men have very standardized clothes
Need.
that we okay, like for example, you're wearing a shirt, you know what is the size of that shirt, and 99% of the time whenever you order that shirt, you know the brand through which you are ordering, so your brand, your size, it's pretty standardized. Typically what it happens for women is that there's a lack of standardization when it comes to brands. Even between different brands have a different fit expectation. Now,
Right.
reverse logistics becomes very important because in order to ensure that women are ordering online, they need to be confident that if they don't like something, they should be able to return it, irrespective of the size, because the size variation is very high. That style variation is high. That like their color complexion, body shape, everything depends on how they will look in a dress. And if you look at online, it's not like AI is designing their wardrobe for them. They are designing it by themselves, so they are bound to make errors in the actual fit. What we have seen is having a great return experience helps these men and women buy online more confidently. Having a
Right.
great reverse logistic experience is paramount to having a repeat buying behavior in the long term for any particular platform.
Very
And
high.
that is something which, as an industry, if you look at our Indian industry per se, uh, reverse logistics has become a necessary evil. It's costly for brands to do that, but at the end of the day, if you do not do that, you do not give your customers the confidence to shop online.
Can you explain to the audience the what exactly reverse logistics means and what it entails? What are the things you have to innovate to make it happen?
So, reverse logistics in very simple ways is when you order a product online,
Okay.
you get it delivered to your doorstep. After that, you once after opening the package, you try it, and if you do not like it, then you can return it. Typically, brands call this hassle-free returns.
Okay.
Brands anywhere between 7 days to 15 days as a return policy to return their items back to the sellers. Now, the service which it entails is that you, whenever a customer is saying, "Okay, I want to return this item," you need to go to the customer within 8 to 24 hours. You need to pick up that item. You need to do a quality check at the doorstep because you don't want to pick up fake items. Okay.
Right.
Now, the customer also wants an instant refund. The customers are not willing to wait. Oh, you take that product back to the seller, they check, and then they will approve my claim. Customer wants, because they have given money, and in India, people don't shop from credit cards. People shop from UPI, debit cards, basically the hard-earned cash. So they want the
Yes.
money back to be coming to the bank account instantly. So you need to do quality check at the doorstep. As soon as you're done with that, and you say, okay, we have picked up the right item, the customer gets an instant refund. This instant refund, which is again enabled by quality check at doorstep, is a big innovation that we had to do as a supply chain company, and it all happens through an API. Now, when we are at the doorstep, it's not like our delivery partners know how to do check. They don't know what's a Tumi brand or a Tommy brand, so they don't know the difference between that, and they can very well do a mistake. All of this today happens through AI. Okay, so when we go to the customer doorstep, we take photos of products, and that can
Okay.
happen whenever you are picking up. You take photographs. Now we've built an image recognition technology through which we match that photo with the catalog photograph.
How?
Okay, and through that it enables us to pick up the right item. Like a delivery partner won't know what is a belly and what is a stiletto. Okay, we can't teach them also in any training program. And in India, like there are millions and millions of SKUs. So building these kind of technologies, ensuring that the customer gets that money back in an instant, is something which again is a small disruption we had to do. But it's a big mark in terms of how customers in this country shop.
All of this happens instantly. The
All
matching on the catalog and the money goes from Shadowfax or from the brand.
So typically we don't transfer the money from our side. This is the brand which does that, but the brand have to do an integration with us. So when we check the product at the doorstep, we say, okay, this is approved. That product directly goes back to the like as an output, it goes back to the brand, and the brand pays the customer in an instant.
Remarkable. You also mentioned एक हाथ से ले लो और दूसरे हाथ से दे दो. So, that kind of thing happens.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
also you invented, right?
Again, as I said, I mean, it's hard to keep Indian customers or brands happy always. So we came up with one more service to make them slightly more happier. So whenever you return an item, the brand actually loses on their gross sales. They are
Okay.
basically taking that item back until a customer comes back again and shops. Now a lot of returns we saw was happening because customers got the wrong size.
Okay.
So we said is, why don't you put an exchange request where we will come and give you the right size and take the older size with you at that moment of time. Brand
Wow.
don't have any loss of sales. Customer still gets the product, and it's a win-win for everyone in the ecosystem. So we came up with this product called hand-to-hand exchange. The latest innovation we created probably a year and a half back, and something which is again it's a big help for the brands to like reduce
Right.
their losses and loss of sales that they were seeing
Right.
earlier.
Right. And because these are how many you do some 26 lakh deliveries per day, if I remember right at that point. And it must be much more right now, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
since you can't train so many uh, boys and girls who are delivering, you have to rely on fail-safe technology for all of this, correct?
yeah. So again, I mean, because see, one of the key USPs of our model, while we have spoken a lot about customer level innovation, speed oriented solutions, creating these versatile value added services to enable Indian commerce, at the end of the day, India's commerce is also getting enabled because we are creating low cost solutions. You
Okay.
cannot have expensive logistics and assume that everybody is going to come online and work with you. The cost of logistics has to come down. One of the core winning factors of our operating model today is again how we started, it's how we do last mile. Last mile is one of the biggest portions of our business from a costing standpoint. We have created a entirely crowdsourced Uberized sort of a model where today more than 2.5 lakh unique people work on the platform to do
Amazing.
deliveries that you're talking about. Now, again, these are not our employees. These are all working through a tech platform, and they're going to your doorstep, delivering orders. Some of them even doing these crazy value-added services that we just spoke about
Right.
time back. So, delivering this through a massive network of people is not an easy task. The kind of technology you need to build to enable this low-cost transition is something that also I think gives us a winning factor and a competitive advantage. If you look at our numbers, we as an organization are growing 60% plus year on year. We are EBITDA
Wow.
positive. So we are cash flow positive, PAT positive. Last quarter, we just reported our earnings last Friday, and we had about 4.3% EBITDA for the last quarter, 3% PAT. So while we are growing really fast, we are also profitable.
Very
Um,
nice.
we are cash flow positive in this business, and this is all leading to the competitive advantages that we have built over the last decade, including low cost deliveries, including this crowdsourcing sort of model.
Yeah. So that is what brings us to the brand question, right? So when we met, you said, I have X thousand, 20,000 plus customers, I have 26 deliveries, I have 30,000 delivery boys, 35,000, 40,000, but I'm unknown. I'm not
Yeah,
visible. No, even with this beautiful name, nobody remembers me, even though I visit their house so many times, right?
yeah,
In fact, you said that some of the housewives know the delivery boy by name or the delivery girl by name. That's the number of times they have visited them.
yeah.
So tell me how this, how, I mean, I know the story about how we did it, but color, sound, how did you orchestrate this entire thing so that Shadowfax comes up in consciousness?
Well, to be fair, I didn't, you did, okay? And thank you for being that partner, I think, in times of that ambiguity on what we wanted to do. And thankfully, I think it's just been a year since we have executed, but there's a long way to go. But we already, I think we feel the difference around the brand, around how we perceive the brand. I think just for everybody's understanding, before this happened, this engagement happened, we were essentially, our brand color was orange, which was probably being taken by multiple other brands at that time. We had a tagline called "We Deliver," which is like, okay, this is what we do. Like Shadowfax, we deliver. Okay, so we are defining, we are delivering, we are a delivery company. What we felt was somehow we lacked a color identity, a visual identity out there. We also lacked like from a tagline standpoint, something that we believe in. Like, what does the organization believe in? It's not coming out. It's not something that while we can relate to delivering products. This is what we do
Yes.
day, but it's not aspirational enough for everyone to think about what we are going to be in the next 5 years. I think after a lot of exercises, a lot of discussions, we are talking about innovation, we are talking about engineering, we are talking about creating disruption every day, and just like we have a huge paranoia around creating that disruption. I think that's how we landed up with this beautiful tagline called "Think Ahead,"
Correct.
about how do you constantly think ahead? How do you think what the future is going to be? Uh, be it for the end consumer, be it for the seller, be it for the delivery partner, be it for the team members. It is always more future oriented in terms of our approach. And I was reading somewhere something interesting I've learned with time. I think your value is not what you have created till date. Your value is partially what you have created till date, but partially also about the vision of your future.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how do you essentially? It's from a famous book, Psychology of Money, uh, but
Yes.
uh, but again, it's about how do you think about the future. And as an organization, we need to be paranoid about what Indian customers are going to order from, how the market is going to evolve, and constantly be dynamic enough to basically even disrupt yourself if needed for the right solution for the right cause. I think that's what reflects with our brand. That's exactly who we are. As we have taken it down, I think people love the brand, customers love the brand. With the new visual identity, I think it gives us a unique identity. It was a bold color to pick at that moment of time, but I think it's worked wonders for us.
And that little tweak that you created, which is using sound at the moment of interaction, the sonic
Yeah.
identity, when with the pause, right?
No, I think that's been very, because again, something we go to every customer's doorstep. How do we tell we are Shadowfax? We don't want to say out there unless somebody notices by themselves. So I think the whole idea is that, okay, maybe if you have a sound clip playing at that customer doorstep, it'll slowly build a sort of a recall. I remember you clearly asking us like, is there something we can do to enter somebody's door? We are going to somebody's doorstep. How do we stay back? How do we do something where can we do something to enter somebody's mind space beyond that? And I
Correct.
think this entire idea of having a unique sort of a brand or sonic identity at the doorstep, something clicked really really well for us. So
Yeah.
we don't, again, it's hard to measure the spread of that right now, but hopefully I think over the next few years
Right.
it
Right.
should become.
So Abhishek, think ahead reminds me you have immersed yourself in this
Yeah,
business in this category.
yeah.
What is think ahead for India in e-commerce or even otherwise? You studied China, you studied other nations. What do you think about if you were to think ahead for us as a nation, for us as e-commerce players? What comes to your mind?
That's a great question, actually. I mean, thinking ahead as end consumers, what are we thinking ahead? I'll try to answer this maybe from a consumer lens, on how the Indian consumer thinks, and this is our view on what we are hearing, what we are seeing across the length and breadth of the country. So, Indian consumers, we all know Indian consumers love value. Okay,
Right.
but with value comes this entire factor of convenience. I would
Okay.
say thinking ahead is just about convenience. Okay.
Okay.
There are broadly three, four themes that we as business are seeing right now across the country, and that's how we are orchestrating a solution. That's how we are thinking about some of the new age future elements as well. Okay. The number one thing which we know about is all quick commerce. Convenience today for us is quick commerce. How do we get, like, how we have 6, 7 options? getting everything at our doorstep. Okay. Now, quick commerce is not just this. I'll tell you what is happening in some of the dense geographies today. Okay.
Okay.
While there are six large horizontal players competing for market share, pricing, right customer, there's also a new plethora of vertical commerce companies that have come in. Today, for example, in Belandur, Bangalore, where we are headquartered, you have a gourmet grocery quick commerce company.
Wow.
You have a kids wear quick commerce company. You have a
Wow.
apparel quick commerce company. You have people like Mintra starting 30-minute delivery. You have a Nika doing an hour delivery. Okay, very recently. I mean, I just not very just today itself. I read there's a company which has raised capital for doing home decor related stuff on quick commerce. So if you want cement, if you want pipes, if electrical wire, no, it's a very valid need. It's a great idea, I would say. See
Absolutely.
what you are seeing today is that the entire offline market that used to be offline is getting replicated online because customers want convenience. Indian roads are not getting better. Indian
Brilliant.
infrastructure is not improving. India's traffic is not improving. Okay, customers do not have the time to go outside to a market to buy simple daily household things. The entire offline market is now coming online, and I think quick is the future. If you look at some of the large companies, large FMCG companies, digital is the fastest growing channel for them. It is even growing at the cost of some of the traditional channels that are there. If you look at Unilever's annual report, last 2 years, their general trade has actually come down and
Wow.
their digital has gone up. So we know where the movement is happening today. So digital first convenience is something that our customers love, and that is what the country is headed towards. That's a big convenience led pattern that we are seeing. The second pattern that we are seeing today is again slightly more convenience led. Uh, it's more like India loves quick content. What is Instagram? A short. It's all quick content, right? India is the largest user of Instagram Reels in the world today.
Really.
YouTube plus Instagram, India is the largest market globally for these products
Yes.
today from a
Yes.
standpoint.
Yes.
See, what is now happening, and that's the biggest transition that we are seeing over the last 4 5 years. First time it's happening like this. Some of these new age tools like Reels and everything have become customer acquisition ideas. Now,
Channels.
imagine you're just scrolling through your video, suddenly somebody says, "Oh, why don't you buy a shark app?" Okay, customer like, "Okay, buy." So that like how quick commerce, like the quick content is being consumed, people are just now buying quick discovery products. Otherwise, you would never go and buy an item, or you will never go to a website and say, "Oh, I need a shower cap." But you suddenly see a influencer talking about a cab, and you're like, and below that there is a buy button, and people just click it, and they want again. If that product comes 5 days after, they will forget it. If it comes on the
Correct.
same day, people will accept it. Okay, oh yes, I ordered in the 5 days later, they'll be like, why did I even order this product? So, so it's like quick buy, quick gratification.
Shark app is not applicable to me though. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, it's for me. I'm losing a lot of hair, so yeah, it's time I should put one.
Yes.
So yeah, but I mean these kind of discovery-led products where customers and brands can actually grow using these kind of platforms is something we have seen a lot happening. We are also seeing one more pattern now, basically generative AI coming into ordering. Now, for example, when people are ordering, they'll upload a photo, they'll say, please tell me what kind of clothes will I like. Based on
Oh,
the clothes, now you will see what brands are selling that. It all happens on Gemini now. You can actually try doing that just from a apparel standpoint. Today, you can upload a diet and you will get the entire grocery list to be ordered. That if you press one more button, I think there are now integrations available where you will directly place the order on quick commerce. So,
wow.
generative AI essentially telling people what to do, what not to do, and breaking down. Like earlier, you would do your own shopping. We see in the next 3 years, I don't think we are going to do our own shopping. We are going to say this is what we want. A shopping list will be created. They will essentially match the best prices from the best platforms and automatically order.
Mm. In
I
fact,
am. This is not too far away.
Yeah, yeah. So just before we take Debu's question, very beautiful question. I wrote a book called The Fourth Era of Branding, and what you're saying is the fourth era of branding when AI will take over. And the question that I raised there was, will brands have a role to play at all? You will have, but not other brands. So there's a nice question here. Any plans of going international with your innovative stack? By Debu to
Not
start.
yet. We believe there's enough depth in India. I think the pace at which the Indian market is growing, uh, we believe we need to capture that first. We need to solve for the Indian customer. I think the next 2 to 3 years, definitely no. Maybe after that, but yeah.
Expanding the services to tier 2 and tier 3 markets will be more challenging or easier compared to metros.
So typically, if you look at our business and India per se, the most demand is still there in metro. The demand density is highest in metros.
Okay.
The supply capacity is lowest in metros because those are some of the dense areas. Typically, tier two, tier three, we have seen capacity creation to be far easier as compared to metros because there is abundant supply. Imagine going to a Bareilly and building supply versus building supply in Bangalore. In Bangalore, the same individual can have 20 different options to work and choose from. But in a place like Bareilly in India, there will be very, very few industries which will thrive. We have seen as you go lower and lower, supply creation is not a big problem as compared to the big cities.
Ah, okay. One more. What are the challenges related to eco-friendly packaging and how is Shadowfax planning to solve them? Very important. I think
Yeah.
the entire Gen Z is about sustainability.
So, as an organization, we still don't do packaging. Typically, we pick up packed products from our customers, deliver it to the or from our sellers, deliver it to the end consumer. So, packaging is something not that we don't do. The only element of packaging that we do is on the reverse logistics side, and where we repackage the item. And
Right.
over there, there are very very strict norms in the country on what you can do, what you cannot do. There's a certain thickness of the packaging material where you need to be compliant. And given we are a public organization, we have to always like think
Yeah.
ahead of compliance as well. So we use completely biodegradable material where essentially you deliver that item, you can recycle that item very very easily. So there are very very strict norms as an organization that one has to follow around sustainability.
Fabulous. One more question. Is it going to be a concern that people share personal info with Gen AI, which could be used for intrusive advertising? This is
Well,
because
yeah.
you talked about what Gemini is going to do.
I mean, hard to stop. I mean, everybody has our Google data. They know our location, but I
Correct.
mean, large platforms typically follow, I think, great compliance norms where the data cannot be misused. It can only be used for advertising. Advertising, I think, has a lesser harm as compared to anything else, or
Right.
the potential damages a data leak can cause you. Uh, but I mean, that's part of the game now.
Yeah. You can't
I mean,
really live.
if you're not paying, maybe a paid version will not have advertising, but if not paying for it, then you're not the customer.
Yes. Correct. Correct. Abhishek, I think I've thanked you many times in private for giving us this opportunity, a huge disruptive brand, very, very innovative solutions for our country. Now I will thank you in public. Thank you, Abhishek. And
No,
thank you, viewers, for this engaging questions. Look forward, Abhishek, to
thank
working
you.
again.
Bye bye. Thank you.